Yeah, we're like, I like that little feature. It tells you 3, 2.
Yeah, that was kind of nice actually. So where'd you find this platform?
Well, as you know, before I was using StreamYard. We were using StreamYard.
Yeah.
They got bought by a company, a Saudi company or something, earlier in the year, and then just last month their prices doubled. So from $24 it went to $49
Jesus.
for the cheapest one. Yeah, unless you go free. But if you do free, you're very limited as to what kind of crap you can do.
Right.
And so I started looking. It's like, damn, got no choice. I can't pay $50 for this crap.
Right. Hey, Chris, what's going on?
Let me start to share this a little bit. Ah.
Oh. So far I'm kind of liking it. Yeah, so far I'm kind of liking it. I'm digging the ghosts.
Yeah, it's different. So far I'm okay with it.
Food poisoning, that sucks. Especially if it comes out of both ends at the same time. I've had that situation before. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't fun.
Okay, now for the YouTube people.
YouTube people. We don't YouTube.
There's YouTube people, believe it or not.
I'm going to shoot that damn dog in a minute.
All right, those are shared. All right, who do we got here? Anybody?
Chris, he's here.
Chris, what up? Food poisoning. Ugh. What did you eat, man? I was gonna say Indian food, but I don't think there's any Indian food places down here.
Well, you know, McDonald's had that E. coli thing going on there.
Yeah, but I don't think Chris is a
6 states. I think it was.
Yeah, the bad onions.
Yeah. And Subway even pulled onions off their menus.
Oh man. Yeah, McDonald's took their quarter pounder off their menu for a few days, and that didn't go over very well. But what went up in price? Oh, the cost of this whole streaming software stuff. No veggies or juice.
Hey, Chrissy, how you doing?
Chrissy. Yeah, man, we haven't been on together for a long time.
We haven't. I've been busy. I start my new job tomorrow.
On a Friday?
Because the way the pay periods fall, we're paid twice a month. The 16th and the 30th, or the 15th and the 30th, or whatever it is.
Plus, so it's not a 9 to 5 kind of thing, anyway, right?
No, it's not. Yeah. And so I gotta go a whole entire month without a paycheck. I don't get paid until like the last of, or like the 30th of next month.
Oh, lovely.
Gonna be rough.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
It always sucks when you start a new job because, you know, they always hold a fucking check from you. There's only one company I ever worked for that didn't hold a paycheck. They paid you in advance.
I don't know why they do that. Is that a thing they have to do now? Do they really got to hold a check? Like a deposit for you to stay, or what is it?
I have no idea.
So much has happened. I guess the main thing happening right now,
don't say it,
is politics.
I told you not to say it.
It's hard not to talk about it.
All right,
hard not to talk about it.
You know, I'm a very I am a political person. I am. You know this.
You don't say.
No. Oh, he did that right at the perfect time. I was going, no. And I was like,
No.
bam, in your face.
Just
So,
messing with this, this is
yeah, I am up to here with her and her lies and her name calling. And then she goes and she says, I'm over the name calling. I'm better than. And then three minutes later, she does it again. It's like, you are. Please, God, help me. I can't stand the woman to begin with. I'm sure she's got a stankin' raunchy ass. She's dumber than a box of rocks, but yet people are voting for her.
That is true. Yeah,
And she was never even got one vote. She was installed like a toilet. She was installed. She wasn't elected to anything. She was installed.
Installed like a toilet.
They just shoved her in there. So there you go. You're the candidate for president now without one fucking vote. Install you like a goddamn toilet.
Yeah, it's funny how they well, not funny, but the way they just made that happen.
And they're the first ones to say democracy's at stake when they're the one destroying democracy. It's funny how that works.
Yeah, so Tuesday is election day. I don't know if you're going to be able to. Are you working that day?
I work 8 to 4.
No, banker's hours.
The whole entire month of November, I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Come December, that's when it goes to...
Oh, okay. So you're in training period. You're training.
Spin the wheel. Whatever it lands on, you're working.
Yep. So Tuesday, election day, I plan to be live with all the live political news and keeping up with the what time polls are closing and all the statistics and all that crap. We'll be watching that on Tuesday.
Would that be Hotlanta?
Hi, Kathy.
I love Hotlanta.
I want to go to Savannah, Georgia.
Every time I've been to Hotlanta, I love going to the Underground City downtown. I love riding Martha for all she's worth. They call it Marta. I always called it Martha.
Martha. What is it? Oh, the public transportation?
Yeah. Boy, I took that. I took her all over the city. I wore her out.
Is it cheap?
It actually really is. I mean, it's extremely reasonable. And the nice thing about it is you can get anywhere, even the airport, on her.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening that we haven't talked about. The politics is
in your face. Everybody's got to be over it. I mean, I'm sick of it.
So, did you watch this Trump rally from Madison Square Garden?
I watched about 5 minutes of it, and then I had to get in bed. But the whole garbage thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know if people actually realize that in Puerto Rico they still do landfills. They do not recycle. They landfill everything in Puerto Rico. So technically, it is a floating trash.
Well, they're having a problem because they're running out of landfill space. They're practically run out of landfill space.
Well, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it's like 5 years just for a piece of notebook paper to disintegrate. I mean, it takes a long damn time. I mean, we have a landfill not far from my house here. I remember it being extremely high. We used to be able to slide down that thing in the wintertime. But, and here we are 50 years later, and it's shrunk maybe 2 feet.
Yeah, the one problem is they don't recycle. That's one huge problem.
Huge problem.
Second one is the island is this big.
Yeah, it's not a very big place.
No, and there's not a lot of space. I mean, I get it. You want to bury crap. You don't want to burn it, but I think they should allow them to burn some of their garbage now. I don't
Well,
think that
at
they
least
have to
the burnables,
burn.
like the cardboards and the papers and things like that. Stuff that's not covered in like wax, like milk. Remember the old cardboard milk?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I mean, that was coated in wax and stuff. I mean,
yeah.
so I mean, if it's non-toxic, yeah, burn the hell out of it. Newspapers and shit, burn it.
At least one session of a burn shit for like, get rid of their stuff. Let them burn stuff for 3 months and get rid of it, and then start burying it again.
But I mean, yeah,
Because now what they're doing, stuff is getting into the ocean.
Yeah, they really need to recycle stuff. And it could be that they don't have any. Well, obviously, if they don't recycle, they don't have any recycling plants there, so they can't melt the plastic down and reform it into other things.
Yeah, so that's a problem. So when a guy cracked that joke, and I never heard of that comedian, I don't know who he is.
I've never heard of him either.
The only funny thing he did say was that Kamala Harris has got Beyonce and Leonardo DiCaprio, and he said the Democratic Party is starting to look like a Diddy party.
Yep.
And that was the funniest thing he said, and that was it.
Well, and you know, it's going to be kind of funny if Kamala's tied to Diddy somehow, and probably is, because, and I don't know if she was like the prosecutor for the whole entire state or if it was just the San Francisco area, but she didn't prosecute Michael Jackson.
Nope.
And Michael Jackson and Diddy were pretty good friends.
But do you think Michael Jackson really did those things?
According to Corey
honestly,
Feldman, yes.
Yeah, there's another one, Corey Feldman.
And,
I don't know, man.
I mean, he was awfully friendly with Aaron Carter too, and Aaron Carter was bisexual, but I mean, it fucked his brain up, and he was a crackhead for years.
Yeah, he was messed up for a while. I don't know. Maybe it's just part of me doesn't want to believe that Michael Jackson would do that. I don't know.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Before I was like, oh yeah, Michael Jackson did it. He did this and he did that. But I don't know. Lately, the last few years, I'm like, maybe it didn't happen. People just going after that money.
Yeah, I would like to believe that Michael Jackson did not do anything to children, but I think the possibility would be there. I don't want to be naive and say that, yeah, he didn't do anything. I mean, he had a lot of kids over at his house, an awful lot. He spent the night with them. They slept in his same bed. That's freaky.
That's fucking weird, is what that is. That's not natural.
It's not. But, he's like, and he thought there was nothing wrong with it. Now, if an adult is sleeping with a child in the same bed and they don't know, and there's no relation, something funky going on there.
And the other part of that, and I know this has already been hashed out years ago, but if you're a parent, how do you, even though it's Michael Jackson, but it's not like you know him personally, you see him on TV dancing around and and all that shit, but or whatever. But it doesn't mean you know the guy. You just know what he sings and what he performs. So how are you letting your kids stay with a stranger for 2 weeks?
Well, and then that nobody knows the actual dollar amount settlement to that one kid to keep their mouth shut. If you're paying a kid off for something and you sign a non-disclosure agreement, and something happens, because an innocent man would not give millions of dollars to a family for no reason.
Yeah, I get that.
Hey, Lanaya.
Hey, Cindy, I can't open the link here. What did you send? So Cindy's putting up this link. You know what? Let me take off this. I don't even know how to undo this now. Oh, here it is.
What if you right click on it and go down to open?
We just stick to that. I'll see if I can grab it from the comments and. Was that a YouTube or a Facebook?
Well, I don't know. It's New York's something. New York State District, U.S. Courts Government.
Yeah, trying to get to it. Hey, I heard him say something.
Yeah, he said hello.
Hey, Cindy, can you send that to me in a on Messenger? What's up with that bird of yours, man?
Oh, he's being goofy.
Oh, I can't get to it.
I'm getting click happy over here.
Sounds like you're killing the guy.
Yeah,
Oh, I got it. Here, I got it.
I'm gonna close this window. I'll be right back.
Ah, E. Jean Carrollton. Yeah, he was. He paid a fine. He paid her for defamation of character. That's what that's all about. I've posted that before. That's on my page somewhere. I got it, Cindy, already. Hello, Debbie. Hi, Naya. Janice. Hi there. Hi, Vic.
What the fuck? Where'd everybody go?
Hey, so the Menendez trial. The Menendez situation.
Hey, Vicky. Hey, Janice.
So that hearing is going to be on December 11th.
Yeah, so from my understanding, that's going to be either life with parole or life. We're going back to life without parole. They're still going to be in there for life. It's just, do they have a little bit of a daylight going on there?
So the story is the DA is going to recommend that they change it from life without parole to life with the possibility of parole. In which case, they've already served 3 times the amount of the length of time.
Yeah, they've been in there, what, 30 years?
30, 35 years?
Something like that.
So he's going to recommend that. And if the judge says, yes, we're changing the sentence, they could be released, will be released the same day. They will be free to go.
Don't they have to go through the parole board and that has to be granted and shit?
Nope. Because they've already served more than their minimum time that they would be able to apply for.
Interesting.
So come December 11th, they could go free, barring any resistance from the prosecution.
Well, how the fuck are they going to support themselves?
I don't know. There's a lot of deals out there for them. I'm from what I hear, book deals, movie deals, tell us your story, interviews, and you name it.
So speaking of movies, and I haven't been able to watch it because I don't have Netflix anymore, but evidently Monster, it's like a TV series on Netflix. It's all about the Menendez brothers.
Menendez.
Yeah. What'd I say? Mendez?
Menendez. Yeah, what the fuck is
Same thing. No differente. So it's all about them and I guess the trial and life in prison, from what I understand. I like I said, I haven't seen it. I want to see it, but I can't. And my super box is having a problem playing that fucking series for some strange reason.
Oh, that's right. You got the super box. How come I can't find that?
Well, it's on there. It starts out and it plays like the first 45 seconds and it freezes. And I don't know why. Stop throwing your food on the floor. You're an asshole.
I wonder if you have to switch it, like countries. Like you have to watch Netflix USA versus Netflix, whatever country it might be assigned to. Your little device.
Well, it does have Canada in there too. Hmm. But yeah, I've been wanting to watch that series.
There's a couple of them on there. Even Max has got something on. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find it right now. So, besides that, digging a little deeper,
Are we going?
do you believe
rabbit hole?
that they were abused in that way?
Now, they claim they were. I have a hard time believing that any father could do that to their own child. I would truly think that if a father, a parent would have enough self-control not to sexually abuse their own children.
So you don't believe them?
I mean, the possibility exists, but I have a hard time believing that a parent cannot have enough self-control not to sexually abuse their own child.
Oh, come on! I mean, that's happened a lot in our in the history of the world. That's not uncommon. I mean, I want to say most of the time it's fathers abusing daughters or females in the family.
I would find it easier to believe if it was an uncle or a cousin, but a father sexually abusing his boys. I have a hard time believing that.
So did you get to watch the series on Netflix before you had this? You can't watch Netflix.
No.
And even the mother, and it's not just the father; it's the mother. There's a scene in I think it's a Netflix series, where she calls one of them upstairs. I forget who's who, and she says, "I have to check your prostate," and she makes him unzip, drop trow, and she's there manipulating him or whatever. I'm like,
the mother did that to him.
yeah.
No.
And that apparently the mother knew what was going on between the father and I think it was Lyle, which is the one that took most of the abuse. I think it was Lyle. Hang on, let me find out.
Why would you even let your mother check your prostate? She's not a fucking doctor.
Not to mention, you're a teenager. There's nothing going to be wrong with your prostate at that age.
Right. I mean, that
not
doesn't
normally
need to be checked until you're like in your mid 40s.
So the problem with the Netflix documentary is that the Menendez brothers had no say in it. They were not talked about it. They were not consulted about it. So they're getting all their information from, I imagine, court transcripts and other people, other family members that they've talked to. But they never spoke with them themselves, with the brothers themselves, to see what happened. Tell us, So okay, so let's say they were abused,
Okay.
and that did happen. Does that justify blowing their heads off? And it's not like it was one of those spur of the moment things where father walks into the bedroom at night and the kid is like, forget this, man, I had enough. He grabs his gun and, it's not like that.
So it's actually premeditated.
Yes. The mom and dad were watching TV. They were watching something on TV, having their little nighttime snack. And they decided, or he decided, you know what? This is it. I mean, does that make it right?
No, it doesn't make it right.
Because then you're talking about the whole Gypsy Rose thing, too. These kids are older. They weren't little toddlers. So it's not like they could run from the house. Or they couldn't run away or go to somebody.
Well,
go to a family member.
I get you can only put up with so much before you just fucking explode. I mean, anybody's kind of like that in any situation. You can only put up with so much before you either say something or slap somebody or whatever. I mean, at some point you're you're just gonna hit your boiling point and just pop. But
my
thing doesn't warrant blowing their fucking heads off.
Well, my thing is a breaking point usually happens during the act or as it's about to happen. Like I said, he comes in the door and you're like, oh man, no way, not forget it. I can't do this again. Not during a calm. I want to say a calm. Well, not that it was not messing with their heads or anything, but. And I'm just playing devil's advocate. Does it warrant? Does it make it justifiable what they did?
I don't think so. I don't think it warrants murder. I mean, maybe breaking some bones, a back, a leg, an arm. Yeah. I mean, killing him, no. I mean, definitely some sort of payback for it. Yeah, maybe take a baseball bat, shove it up his ass.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Vicky. I have people at work telling me, I can't even see you anymore. Where are you?
See, because the other thing I'm thinking is, because now you have to go back to Gypsy Rose and look what she did with her mom. Now, this is a person who knew she could walk. She was not wheelchair bound. And, they did her mom when the mother was in bed sleeping.
So another premeditated. I mean, if you...
And I know, hindsight is 20/20, and I'm not trying to... I'm not trying to say that I know what's in people's heads while this abuse is going on. And I mean, who am I to say somebody, oh, you shouldn't have done that? Only the one getting abused knows what's in their head and how bad it's messing with them. You're muted. Oh.
I know, I was yelling at my nephew. I don't know. I think once you hit the premeditated stage, it's just as bad as murder for hire. It's one thing to actually think about it and dwell on it and, wish it to happen. And then another thing to actually do it, because then, like when you write it down, then it becomes, it's no longer an idea and it's an actual plan.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's like at what point is there such a thing to say, even when they want to say it's premeditated? I mean, they went out and I don't know. It's hard to say something like that without accusing the victim, without trying to blame the victim, which I'm not trying to do that at all. It's a touchy thing. I get it. And it sucks that anybody has to go through that,
Yeah.
So I don't know. So anyway, they've served 34, 35 years, something like that. And there is a strong possibility that they will be let out and freed on that day, which is December 11th, which would make it, this year. And Gavin Newsom let out a little bit of a, not a secret, but he said he tends to grant clemency and that kind of thing during the Thanksgiving holidays. That's when he likes to do it. And I don't know, it just sounds like obviously besides that, it's all political. The DA is up for re-election, and he wants to be on everybody's good side and pull on their heartstrings.
It's funny how that happens every 4 years, isn't it?
Yeah. So, does he
They'll
really
tell you
care?
anything. They'll tell you anything you want to hear to get their ass reelected.
Hey, Beth.
They will tell you any fucking lie in the world. Just like them Democrats, they've been grooming the American people for centuries that they're the best, that they're there for you. We work here for you. We are for you. We are for the people. We care about you. You don't care about anybody but your own fat ass. That's the bottom fucking line. They're all, why are you changing shit?
Yeah, just changing it up a little bit.
I mean, it's every politician, in my opinion, is what can I get out of this for me, and who do I have to fuck to get it? That's every politician's mentality. And come election time, you always vote for the lesser of two evils, and the one you believe is going to be the best for the current situation at any given time.
I don't know. So back to the sentencing. So they're going to be released, and because of rules of sentencing, since they were under the age of 25 when they were sentenced to life and no parole, that's why they become immediately eligible, because they were 19 and 21, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, is 35 years enough of a sentence? And then if you're going to say that, now do you have to go back and look at every other case that's got a questionable, evidence that wasn't introduced, and so-and-so, and that guy who's claims abuse, or he's always claimed abuse, and the other guy. Say, now you're going to open up this can of worms where you have to check everybody.
True.
Hey, Christy. And I don't know. When I asked a question a couple of weeks ago, is 35 years enough? Did they serve their time? It was a mixed bag. Some said yes, that's enough. Some said no, they killed 2 people. That's not enough. And even though there was claims of abuse, which now seem to be gaining more traction, because one of the guys from that boy band Menudo from the 80s, he claims he was raped by Mr. Menendez.
Well, Ricky Martin had issues with his manager or the whole Menudo guy that would put the band together or whatever. He was sexually molested by that guy.
Yeah, and then there's a family member as well. Apparently, wrote a letter that they were also somehow assaulted by Mr. Menendez. So, you know, again, I hope they see this as, or somebody steps up and says, all right, well, now you got to look at all the other 5,000 cases of these dudes that are in there in a similar circumstance. And then is that going to happen? It's like they're forcing it to happen now. It's like they got no choice. And I still don't know if I believe they should be released. Again, it's, you know, why wasn't any of this evidence presented back then? Well, that's why it's coming up now, because for whatever reason they didn't allow this evidence back then, or some of it wasn't there back then. I don't know. It's not easy. It's not an easy one.
Well, nothing ever is easy. I mean, I wouldn't want to be the judge on a lot of these trials that they have to sit and create a verdict for. I mean, do they go home at night after they've laid down their verdict and their opinion? Do they go home at night and sit down and go, did I make the right decision or did I fuck up? I would like to believe 95% of them do that. But I'm sure there's at least 5% out there that go, yeah, I don't fucking care. I'm going to go home, bone the old lady, have a steak, go to bed, wake up and do it again tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, most likely because it looks good. Lower this volume. Most likely it's going to happen. They're going to be released. And
you think so?
Yeah. Because the DA is recommending it. And
this isn't the DA that tried them. I mean, this is a younger DA, has wild views, wild ideas like these Gen Zs and everything else. I mean, the way these kids think now are just unfucking believable. It's just like, what is going on in your head? I mean, I heard somebody say this is the gayest generation of our time, and it's true.
The gayest?
The gayest. There is a lot of crazy gays out there.
So it's not just you.
I'm not crazy. I'm gay, but I'm not crazy. I mean, I just don't comprehend the way that they think, and the way that they think makes any sense. I mean, I'm not even 60. Am I that fucking old and set in my ways that I can't accept a new idea or understand what the fuck they're talking about?
See, now you're going to get those who are going to say, yeah, but gay, what does gay have anything, what does gay have to do with this?
Well, you know, you got people out there that think they're cats and dogs and staplers and
what
you name staplers? It, they think they're it.
Oh.
I mean, I guess if you want to think you're a woman, that's fine. That's dandy. That's great. You want to think you're a guy? That's fine. That's dandy. That's great. I can't live in your delusion.
See, we're getting into a whole other topic.
I mean, do I accept your delusion? Yeah, I accept it. That's great. I'm happy for you. I can't live in that delusion.
Yeah, well, kind of speaking of that, I was watching, there's a series on YouTube called Jubilee is the company. And they had a segment where Ben Shapiro or Charlie Kirk, the guy, the conservative from Can't think of the outfit. Anyway, it was them separately against 25 liberal college students. And this thing was a disaster. It was difficult to watch, even more difficult to listen to. I'll probably post that up there in the next few days. The thought process on young people right now, and I think this is all being taught in university at the university level.
Well, and
I mean, it's
there's a lot of Democrats that are professors, and they're brainwashing these kids into being Democrats. They're not giving them the chance to explore and research for themselves to make up their own mind. They're shoving their beliefs down these kids' throat, which is wrong. Let the kid, give them both sides, give them the facts of both sides. Let the kid make their own decision. That's the way it should be.
well, that's the way it always was for the most part. And then the teachers, educators, over time got younger and younger and younger.
And crazier beliefs and wild beliefs and radical beliefs. I guess radical was the word I was looking for. Not crazy or radical.
Okay, well, crazy too, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's a problem when schools, I guess, on the administrative level, principals, they don't know what their teachers are teaching.
Well,
I mean, it seems like all they want to teach is, oh, you may not be a boy, or oh, you may not be a girl.
That and critical race theory, they love to teach that too.
Hey, Debbie.
And well, you're not going to offend me. I got some extremely tough skin, but yeah, today's youth has got a lot of issues going on inside of them. I mean, one, they got hormones raging. Once you hit what, 9?
I don't even know.
9, 10.
Preteen-ish, yeah, 10, 12.
Starting to, yeah. Then you're starting to question things, and yeah, I get that. Today's and the whole anxiety thing. I used to have really extremely bad panic attacks. I don't know what brought them on, but I had them, and sometimes they'd be so bad I would just do this for hours on my couch, just rock back and forth for hours because my panic attacks were so strong and so bad. Hey, Chuck!
See, and this is true right here. Just because they play with dolls, it doesn't mean they want to be girls.
Exactly.
Kids just play with toys. They don't see them as...
It is a toy. Let the kid have fun with it. Why put a gender on it? Yeah, so what? The boobs... the boobs. The doll's got lady lumps.
They got boobs, too. It does got boobs. The boobs are bigger now on the Barbies, but...
Especially the Barbies. But she went and seen the plastic surgeon.
But it's true. I say the same thing. I'm like, let them play with
whatever the hell they want.
So he puts on mom's heels. He's playing.
No little boy doesn't do that.
2 months it already passed. It's done.
What little boy has never walked around in mom's heels or dad's boots?
See, but these crazy liberals, hey, look, he's putting on mom's shoes. I think that's a girl. Let's groom him to be a girl. Yeah. That's the problem. Young parents is the problem. Remember that we went through when I was a teenager, a lot of teen girls were getting pregnant, and it was the whole babies having babies thing.
They still are.
Yeah. I don't know if as much as before, though. But those kids don't know how to raise kids. I know they get help. I'm sure they get help from family sometimes, not all the time. But I don't know too much. Why the push to, oh, they may be gay? It's like, you know what? When they grow up, if they are, they are. End of story. That's up to them. Sometimes it's not even up to them. That's just the way they are. And if you find out later when they're older, then just let it be.
Hey, Tanya. Yeah, Beth, I actually touched on that when the kids were in college, that these professors are shoving their political views down their throats and not letting the students or the kids make up their own mind. They're turning them into hardcore blue Democrats. And I think that's at every college, really. I mean, it's not just your Ivy Leagues, it's every college.
Oh, man, this is a whole other discussion that I just saw something on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. This
I do too.
girl, she couldn't have been 10 years old, but she's wearing these thigh-high boots and performing at some kind of a nightclub. I thought it was a boy in drag. Actually, to be honest, I don't know if it was a boy in drag or if it was a little girl. But performing like these adult drag queens perform, those over the top performances and acrobatics sometimes. And I mean, at a club, it's like, what? When did this become okay?
Well, and I don't know if you know who Troye Sivan is.
Hi, Tanya.
But recently there's a video of him going around. I guess he was on stage doing a concert, and he was wearing a bustier with straps hanging down off the waistline to hold up the stockings, but he didn't have the stockings on. He actually had a pair of slacks on. He was just wearing the bustier, and he was dancing like a stripper would do a lap dance to another guy on stage. And I mean, it was tacky. It was disgraceful. It was really disgusting.
Who was that?
Troye Sivan. He's an Australian singer, actor.
Trey or Troy?
Troy. Troye, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It reminded me of that cone outfit Madonna used to wear or wore that one time.
Australian singer. Okay, I see that.
Yes, Tanya, people are nuts. Well, happy Halloween to you too, Michael.
Hey, Mike. Michael
Knight.
New
How's
York.
Kit doing these days? Oh, I couldn't resist that one. Hey, Paul, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Beth. Isn't any different. Oh, God. I know. I get it. I got you. Yeah, that's one way to put it. People are nuts.
Well, that's
What up, Paul?
yeah, I concur. But then again, at times I'm nuts too. So I mean, we all have a little nuts in us.
This absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with that too.
Ben Shapiro said rapists and pedophiles should be castrated or killed.
Absolutely.
Or both, and I'm okay with that. I put up a story yesterday, maybe a couple days ago. 2 pedophiles. 2 of them. New York. I think it was New York. Both died the same night, overnight, within a couple hours of each other.
Well, that's kind of ironic.
Don't know how it happened. They're not saying what happened. They're not saying how they did pass, but they were both gone.
They were Jeffrey Epstein.
They were, yeah, or something. And it's like, well, somebody did, civilization a favor, and They were taking up our valuable oxygen. Actually, nitrogen. We breathe nitrogen mostly.
No, we breathe oxygen.
The oxygen we breathe is made up mostly of nitrogen. There's this much oxygen in there.
We expel carbon dioxide, which is what the trees breathe, and then they put out the oxygen.
Yeah. Look it up. I don't feel like explaining that today. Different show.
Different show, my ass.
Night Industries 2000.
That's what KIT stands for. Here's that 1980 black Trans Am with the little.
Yeah. I remember watching that show. I thought that car was badass. That's a car that every kid wanted.
Oh, hell yeah. I still want it.
There you go. That's right. Photosynthesis. Yeah, that Knight Rider car, man. That was something that was. And before that, what car was it? Dukes of Hazzard. I think it was before that.
Generally.
And then before that, it might have been.
That was the Starsky and Hutch car. Yeah, but I think before the after the Starsky and Hutch would have been what's his nuts' car? Shaq. Shaq had a nice car.
Shaq.
Hang on, give me a fucking minute. Not Shaq.
Shaq wasn't born yet at that.
It was the Samuel L. Jackson movie. Shaft.
Oh, Shaft. See, I'm over here thinking Burt Reynolds, that Trans Am.
Yeah, that Trans Am was really good too. That was
Smokey and the Bandit.
That was 78, 77.
Smokey and the Bandit. That was a badass. The black Trans Am. That was a nice car. I don't know. Was it black?
It was black with the gold eagle on it.
Yeah, yeah. Back when those were real muscle cars.
Yeah, James Gardner's Camaro. And
oh my God, I forgot about that Camaro.
Yeah.
The Rockford Files?
That's what I was thinking, Rockford Files.
The A-Team, wasn't that a van?
That was a van. Mr. T's van. I pity the fool.
Man, we're going back to when those little what are they called?
There's a lot of old motherfuckers up in here with us tonight.
Conversion vans were a thing. You know, those could make a comeback. I mean, those are good for, well, you know, everybody knows what they're good for, but
yeah, my best friend in high school had a van, had a water bed in the back of it. He was a slut.
Well, put a waterbed in the back of your van. I'd say you've got shady intentions.
Oh, he was pretty shady. That kid got more tail than you could shake a stick at.
Yeah, everybody wanted one of those for some reason. I mean, we know the reason now, but
yeah, we do. Oy vey. What the hell is this?
I just saw something on the news. Where am I?
I don't know. Where are you? What the fuck?
You see this thing, freaking Mark Cuban talking down on women.
You know, I don't know how I feel about Mark Cuban. So he's a billionaire. He owns all kinds of shit, but I don't know how I feel about him. I don't think I like him.
He said Donald Trump has never surrounded himself with strong, intelligent women.
Yeah, I did hear him say that tonight.
And you got a lot of strong, intelligent women going, what am I? So I don't know. You know what? The liberal Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot.
Gotta love them Dems, right, Chuck?
Oh, Paul, come on. See? Yes. Yes. That's all I'm going to say. Yes. There were a few others, and I knew them all. I knew the whole list of adult actresses, and she was very famous. Yeah, but that's a pillow talk kind of a show. Anything on VT? Absolutely nothing at all whatsoever. It's been nice and peaceful and quiet.
Yeah, so how's she doing?
Yeah, I don't know. Or what is she doing? Who knows?
Or who is she doing?
Or
Don't
who is
care.
she?
Don't care.
I know somebody told me that she was trying to get back with her old flame, Cody.
Oh. Well, that'll go over like a fart in church.
Yeah, I've lost track of that. And okay, Debbie. Yeah, it's on Facebook too. It's on Facebook as well. I was gonna do a poll on this. If you guys know, somebody asked me to start streaming someone else.
Who?
And they've been out there for a while already. And I know Ultimate Deception streams this person a lot.
Who?
A lot.
Who?
Her name is Janelle. You know who that is?
Sounds familiar.
I'll show you.
Yeah, show me. Oh, yeah, I think I've seen her.
And something about
Tanya don't like her.
a lot of people don't like her, I found out. And I just don't know if is it worth going through it just to see some of her stuff. I heard she for a while she said she had cancer, collected a bunch of money, and then all of a sudden she doesn't have cancer or something like that.
Oh, it's immaculate recovery. Or divine healing.
Divine healing, yeah. What was that?
It's amazing what $50,000 will do for you.
Right? I need 50,000. I have cancer. And you get the 50,000. Next thing you know, you're going to Florida. So yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying she went to Florida.
And I don't know the dollar amount. I just threw that out there.
She's a scammer and fake cancer survivor. See, that's messed up. Like stolen valor, saying you were in the military and you really weren't. Like, Tampon Tim. Tim Walz.
He was in the military. He just was not where he said he went, doing what he said he did. And he's a knucklehead because sometimes he misspeaks. I'm sorry, that's an outright fucking lie, motherfucker. You did not misspeak. You lied. You're not a knucklehead. You're a liar.
I don't
You lie like this rug underneath me.
I don't understand how people can even consider voting that way. You know how they tried to say that JD Vance was weird? There was like a week they were going like, "Oh, those people are weird."
It was more like a month. Oh, that's just weird. He's just
weird. They're weird. It's like
weird.
Have you seen Tim Walz come up on stage and come into the? He reminds me of the CEO of Microsoft. I forgot that guy's name. I mean,
yeah.
Besides that, he's just, I don't know, man.
It seems like Kamala and her team are just grasping at anything they can get their hands on to throw at the other side to make them disbelieve. And the big thing is, oh, he's a threat to democracy. He's a dictator. He's this. He's that. He's this. He's motherfucker. Shut your goddamn mouth. Why the fuck do you think you're saying this shit? People that actually believe this shit that's coming out of your mouth is God's gospel fucking truth, and then they go and they try to unalive the man.
Because he would tell, what did he say? He was in Tiananmen Square during the uprising in China that summer. He was there. He was there, and it turned out he wasn't there.
I'm surprised they haven't said that he's fucking Satan himself. Although I shared something on TikTok a couple of days ago. I somebody streamed it, and I don't know who, but Kamala was at a rally or a whatever, and they're like, "Watch this woman right behind her. Watch this woman behind her." And there's a woman off to the behind her right shoulder, and he's like, "Right there." And this woman's eyes turned like white, like she's like, demon right there. She's a demon.
Whoa. What is it? She had 5 arrests. She sold her daughters?
Who did? Kamala?
Tanya. No. This lady, Janelle, I showed you.
Oh.
She sold her daughters?
Isn't that slavery?
AI movie, Saga of Balaam. Nope, never heard of it. What is that about? Yeah, he does give his weird vibes come out of Tim Walz.
He looks like a pedo, just like Grandpa Joe.
You know what's annoying? Personally, it's annoying to me watching Kamala Harris come out on stage with that slow walk that she does, like an intentional slow walk.
I hate her
It's
hyena.
weird. It's
cackle.
like, it's so weird. I haven't heard her cackle too much lately. I'm pretty sure they told her control the cackle.
Well, and I used to think that it was something she would do, like a filibuster when she was nervous. She would just laugh because she didn't know what to do or say. Or did she actually think she said something really funny and she had to laugh at it?
Yeah, Chuck, you're right. I'm getting these little alarms. I don't know where the hell they're coming from.
Chuck. My buddy Chuck. I like Chuck.
Chuck is in the house. So somebody's going around and burning ballots. Did you see this?
Yeah, I seen that they were lighting a couple of the boxes on fire. I think in Oregon.
Yeah, I think so. And they said they're going to keep burning them all until Palestine is freed or some shit.
Oh, here we go. From the river to the sea.
But these are ballot boxes are just in the middle of nowhere, and you can just drive up to it, put your ballot in, and nobody's guarding it, nobody's watching them.
Which
how do you not expect things to go wrong?
Seriously. Oh, and what about that situation with Virginia?
Oh, about letting all these
illegals?
Yeah.
Oh, the U.S. Supreme Court had to get in on that one.
Yeah, and guess what they said?
What? And I can't even believe we're actually having this conversation. I mean, why the hell is it even a topic?
Judge, all these people are illegal. They're not allowed to vote, and they registered to vote. So you think you're going to hear, okay, well, strike them, get them out of here, burn those ballots, their registration. As it should
be, because you have to be a U.S. citizen to vote.
They're not U.S. citizens. They can't vote. What did they say? Oh, put their names back on there. It's okay. Let them vote. It's like,
let them vote.
What?
Must have been a Democrat.
That's why when Kamala says a lot, Kamala says, well, it's not going to happen because we're going to win. And we're going to,
Well, she's pretty sure she's going to win.
Yeah, all this is rigged already.
Are they going to come up with more ballots at 2 o'clock in the morning for fucking Philadelphia?
Right? Oh, look, another 800,000 ballots overnight.
Just magically appeared out of nowhere. Hey, Bean.
Dude, yeah, it's like, yeah, 800,000 ballots. I just made them myself. I mean, I just found them over here.
Wait a minute, these didn't get counted. We better count them. Oh,
Again,
what do you mean
yeah.
they've been counted 7 times already? Another time's not going to hurt.
And I'm telling you, the more and more she says, every time she says, "Oh, we're going to win," like she knows this already.
She
And that's the
she
scary
knows.
part.
They're cheating, and she knows they're cheating.
Right? Like last time, close the shades, close the blinds. There's supposed to be someone in there supervising, counting, and all this stuff. Yeah, they're not going to allow anybody. Tanya says, I work for a very wealthy doctor, their neighborhood. Every house, like $2.5 million, and they all have hair signs in their front yards.
Of course they do. For people that are so fucking intelligent, boy, are they stupid.
And I keep seeing these things, and these things are not made up. These are actual questions that are asked of Kamala Harris, and she will respond with a minute and a half non-answer.
My favorite is, well, let's start with this. I grew up
The middle class.
middle class. It's a yes or no fucking answer. We don't care that you grew up in the middle class, and I don't believe you were middle class. I think you were all upper class the whole entire part of your fucking life.
And how her followers, like, see, this is sad because you're getting into a thing. You're getting into a situation where people want to vote for her only because she's of color.
She's not black. Candace Owens has proved she is not black.
That's true. What I want to know
color in her is Indian.
What I want to know is, how do the Indian people feel? It's like, why is she shunning the Indian? Or why is she shunning the Indian people? Why is she completely ignoring how she was raised? Her mom was. Remember, have you seen that meme?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they made fun of my mom because of her accent. The guy's, because she's Indian. And the guy kept coming, because she's Indian. And it's like, why aren't Indian people? I haven't heard of anything. Why is she ignoring the Indian people? This is where she came from. Why is she now African American?
Because it's benefiting her and she's not. I mean, she may have like maybe 1% in her, like just about everybody in the fucking world. Well, Tanya, you know why they hate Trump? Because they can't fucking control him. That's what scares them. They cannot control him.
Yeah, something. And I saw the interview. I forget the guy. I think I posted it on my TikTok. But the guy saying, even if Trump wins the election, we're not going to certify. And they don't want him there no matter what. I'm telling you. The only way for them not to fuck with the election is if he wins by a major landslide. So there's absolutely no doubt.
Yeah, pretty much every state has to be red.
Yeah.
If there's one blue state somewhere.
And this is elections that are supposed to be decided that same evening. By the time you wake up in the morning, it's a done deal.
We're still not going to know. We're not going to know for weeks.
They're saying it could take 2 weeks. Like what?
Well, that's because of the mail-in ballots. They got so many. Oh well, we got to wait for the mail-in ballots. So they could be mailed 4 days later. We still have to wait and count them. No. If it's not postmarked by November fucking 4th or November 5th, fuck you. Your ballot does not count.
Yeah, and then you got the voter IDs where people in California, they're like, you can't even ask them for their IDs.
Same thing in this state. So when I went to vote 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, I went in there and the woman is like, oh, you got to go over to her because my computer's broken. I said, I know, I've been standing here for 5 minutes listening to you talk about it. I got it. I know where I'm going. So I go next door and she goes, name. And I'm like, hang on, let me get no, I need your name. We don't do IDs. I said, oh, well, what name do you want? I could be Tony Bennett. You know, I could be Lady Gaga. I mean, what name do you want? I mean, I could be my dead mother in here voting. I mean, how do you know it's me?
Oh, and then if they can't find your name, oh, well, we'll just register you right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like, what? What?
Well, how do we know you're not? How do we know you're not illegal? You know. So, you know, I voted and I put my thing in there, and I was walking out, and everybody there was talking about the whole ID thing. And the woman with the broken computer says, "See that guard over there? I can have him escort each and every one out of you out of here. I don't have to put up with this. We are following the law. The law says no ID, so we're following the law." and she goes, "But I'm not going to do that because I'm a nice person." And I'm walking out. I stop. I said, "Lady, first off, you're not a nice person because nice people don't have to say they're nice. Second off, you take your law and the ID thing and shove it up your ass because it's bullshit." And I walked out.
But you voted first, right?
I did vote first.
Good, because you know what they'll do with your ballot as soon as you walk out, like this motherfucker.
Burn that bitch.
Yeah, this is, man. And it's horrible how all of this is because of that one person, Donald Trump.
He's a sick, deranged individual that has no business breathing, has no business being a billionaire. He has no business being a president, even though he's the best fucking president we ever had.
And now gas prices are magically dropping right now because it's election time. I understand that.
That's the way they can say Bidenomics. It's working. Look, the gas prices are below $3 a gallon in 21 states.
What's your gas?
But,
what's your regular gas right now?
$3.25. But you know, they're not telling you that when Biden took office, gas was $1.50 a gallon. They're not telling you that. They're telling you gas prices are falling. Of course they're falling, but they're not where they were when you took office.
Yeah.
It's bait and switch is what it is. They're telling you positives, but they're not telling you the whole positive truth.
Bidenomics.
Shut up,
Debbie,
goddamn dog.
Absolutely right, Debbie. Absolutely right. And it's true, and it's not just that they don't like him; they freaking hate him. I mean, when you want somebody dead, something is majorly wrong here, and it's not Trump.
It's kind of funny that there's even a couple of Democrats in this group. Every great president that has been a phenomenal president has either been assassinated or attempted to be assassinated. And there's a Democrat or two in there. I think Lincoln was Democratic.
Lincoln was a Republican.
Oh, was he Republican?
Yep.
Well, I know Kennedy. He was Democrat.
Yep.
He was unfortunately assassinated. So, I mean, if you're a great president, they don't do that to shitty presidents. Only good presidents. Makes you wonder.
Yeah, and I don't understand.
Hey, Diddy.
I just remember last election, 2020, and I remember listening to George Soros. He's the guy behind the big money behind the Democrats and the liberals. And there was an interview, and he said, just like there's like Kamala now saying she's going to win, he said Trump will not be here in January. And of course, look what they did. And, all of a sudden, Trump lost that election.
Well, Pelosi had a lot to do with that. She's the one that had all those extra ballots created. Can't prove it,
crazy, bro.
But boy, I believe it.
339 in Arizona. Here in Texas, for regular, I think we're at $2.49, something like that. So it's really dropping, but
It would drop a lot more if we were able to drill for oil on this continent, and we had a oil pipeline from here to Canada. And if we were able to make our own fuel here instead of import all this shit, because we have to pay import fees and shit. We used to be energy efficient and not energy reliable.
The other thing that bothers me about her campaign, I guess all of them, they keep saying that Donald Trump is going to get rid of Social Security, get rid of Medicare.
Every Democrat says that about every Republican.
That he wants to cancel the Constitution.
And Project 2025.
Project 20. It's the one that I find funny. Though he wants to cancel the Constitution. Yeah. He's just gonna do away with it, and they're gonna let him, and he's gonna get.
I mean, how stupid do you have to be for those words to even flow over your teeth and out your mouth? And you truly believe that people are going to believe that? I mean,
how do you even believe that? How? Oh, he wants to cancel the Constitution. He's going to take away.
You got to be one ignorant motherfucker to believe that the Constitution can be canceled. I mean, you got to be one ignorant motherfucker.
He's already been in office. Why didn't he cancel it the last time?
Exactly. And why didn't he do away with Social Security? He was there for 4 years. He could have done it then, but he didn't. Why? Because it's not his fucking plan.
Yep.
That's the Democrats' plan. They're the one that stole all that money from Social Security decades ago.
What was the other one she was saying that they're saying? I saw this interview on TikTok or Reel or whatever. He says, "Who are you voting for?" She goes, "Harris." And why is that? Because I like my rights. I want to keep my rights. Like, what rights? Well, I'm a gay woman. It's like what gay right? What rights has he taken away, or did he threaten to take away? What rights? And of course, nobody can answer it because it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Like, what gay right? What are there gay rights at all in the first place? Like, everybody's your people. People are people. It is getting exhausting. Now I just want it to be over.
Oh,
Tuesday, I'm come around.
Over it. I haven't watched news in 2 weeks or in 2 days because I'm so over it.
Yeah, I've kind of not paid a lot of attention lately. The stuff coming out of her camp and her mouth is just. And again, we just talked about this, the fact that people believe her.
I mean, for all the shit that comes out of her mouth, she should just turn around, bend over, and spread her fucking cheeks and let her ass do the talking because it's the same fucking shit.
277 in Florida is not bad. 310 for New York.
It's kind of funny that all you red states are cheap and all us blue states are over $3.
Hey, Michael, is 310? Is that low for you guys for regular? I mean, would you consider that?
Yeah, that's
you
cheap.
Consider that a good rate?
In Chicago, they're still up over $4.50 a gallon.
Really? Yeah, everybody's tired of it, and don't get me wrong. And everybody, oh my God. So did you see the Trump thing with the garbage truck yesterday? It's like, who comes up with this stuff? It was like, he does. He's a show business guy. He's a showman. He's got a creative mind. When you try to attack him for one thing, he's going to run with it and use it as a positive somehow.
Fuck yeah, he is. He'll spin it. That's
why he had a successful TV show for a long time, for many years. The Apprentice was successful.
You're fired.
Yeah. Two of the simplest words in modern history. And and he's not tired. He hasn't taken a day off since I don't know how many days. A month and a half, almost 2 months. He hasn't taken a day off.
Well, I'm going to point this out because somewhere some Democrat's going to point it out. When he was walking up to his garbage truck to open the door to get in it, I think it was his left, one of his hands, he had to reach twice for the handle because it's like the eye-hand coordination wasn't quite there. And it looked like the guy standing behind him looked like he needed to be boosted up in there. Okay, well, if you ever climbed up in one of them motherfuckers, it's a big-ass step.
Yeah,
but the whole hand grab the handle thing, they're going to be talking about that. He's mentally unfit. He's not cognitive. He can't do the job.
Oh yeah.
That'll be coming out next.
Did you see this one? This was the freaking funniest thing I've seen in like forever.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Remember that screaming liberal that was made the news back when Trump won the first time?
Yep.
That was so freaking hilarious. That was when they announced that Trump is the winner and is the president of the United States. She was like, no! She was screaming. Oh my God, it was so funny.
Well, and then a week later, you had that bitch from Arizona, I think, that just got elected. And he hasn't even taken the oath of office yet. She's like, we're going to impeach the motherfucker! Remember her?
Yeah, who was that?
I want to say she was from Arizona.
No. You're talking about that Talib woman.
Yeah.
Part of the mob. Those four ladies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rashida Tlaib, I think that's her name. Yeah,
I'm not even sure if he was elected president at the time, and she was like, we're going to impeach the motherfucker.
I don't know how she's still there. And so is the other one, Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, that's another one that needs to leave.
The one who married her brother or whatever happened then.
I married my brother so he could come and live in this country for free.
Yep.
How'd the wedding night treat you, Ilhan? How was that wedding night? That's some sick shit there.
Yeah, it is. There have been a lot of good memes lately, man. Let's see.
Chuck said Fox and Friends made him sit on a towel.
I saw that. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Yeah, because any other interview I've seen, he was not sitting on a towel. So did they spill something? And they put a towel down so he wouldn't get a wet butt, or?
And that's the other thing, Chuck. I hope you really don't believe he actually is capable of shitting in his pants. Seriously. Did you see Joe Biden on stage? Whatever event that was, he took a step back and he did a squat in front of everybody.
That motherfucker shit his pants.
What's he doing? He's squatting. What? And then he
pulled
came
a
back
Nadler. He pulled a Nadler.
There had to be a reason for that towel, whatever the fuck that was. I don't know what it was.
Hey, Charlene.
Nobody cares. No, it never came up again. I don't know that I like this music. So let me go to.
Oh, hell.
So you already quit working at the school bus?
Today and tomorrow are personal days. Tomorrow is my last day, and I made sure that I worked one day into November, so I have insurance through the month of November.
Oh,
Because
okay.
even if you take a personal day, it's like you're working. So
Yeah.
that way they pay for my insurance for the month of November.
Good job.
Yeah, for those. Yeah, I start my new job tomorrow. I'm excited.
Oh, you mean of Joe Biden? Yeah, and I know there is. Of course there is, but that's all Biden or Nadler. Probably
Yeah.
Nadler too.
Chuck, I'm going to work in a I'm going to work with people with that's mentally challenged.
Hey, Yellowstone. When is that coming back? What's the date on that?
I want to say the 11th.
That's on Monday.
Yeah.
Doesn't Yellowstone usually come back on Sundays?
And then maybe it's the 10th. I know it's in November. Not too far off, like a couple of weeks. Thank you, Diddy. And I am leaving the bus because I need more money. They are pretty much more than doubling my salary.
Looking good. Bam. Let's see. Chuck says the GOP. Just kidding. Wish you the best. He's not leaving the GOP. You consider yourself a Republican?
I do not. And I do not consider myself a Democrat either. I consider myself a realist. And I tend to vote for the particular party
You mean
or
independent
person
then? Independent.
that is best for the situation at that time. And for the past 12 out of the past 16 years, the Democrats have been in power. Out of the last 16 years, 12 of them, the Democrats have been in power. I think out of the last 12 years, it's proven to the American people that they know how to fuck this country up, and pretty fucking good.
When you try to find Kamala's platform, there is none. She wants to run with the most important issue on her plate. She believes is abortion, women's rights, and that's just not the top priority for people in this country. Is it important? It's up there. But is that the most devastating, important issue that's pressing right now? No.
No, I think the economy and border security
is
the top two for pretty much the whole United States. DD, it is not Monday through Friday, although just the month of November during my training month, it is Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Come December 1st, it's like spin the fucking wheel. I could be doing overnights. I could be working weekends, holidays, and I'm okay working holidays because it's talking cha-ching, motherfuckers. $38 an hour, cha-ching.
There you go.
Thank you, Charlene. What's going to suck about it, though, is I don't get paid until like the 30th of November, so I got to go a whole month without a paycheck. Because we get paid twice a month. The 1st and the 16th and the 30th or whatever, or the 15th and the 30th. So, yeah, they got to hold that first check, which is real. It's going to be rough.
Yeah. Hey, let's jump to another guy we haven't talked about yet.
Who?
P. Diddy.
Oh, sweet Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
P. Diddy. And there was a lot of fake news out there coming out that he was out of prison already and he was granted release. But that was TikTok fake crap. So he's still in there. And people believe, well, Trump believes it. And what's his name? Elon Musk. People don't want Trump in office because he's going to make that list public. the people that are on Diddy's list that there's a lot of conversation about,
As it should be made public.
and people are shitting in their pants to know that
Because,
list
and I'll
might-
tell you why they're shitting in their pants. There's a lot of celebrities on that list, a lot of politicians on that list. And that's why people are shitting their fucking pants. Because they don't want to be found out that they get their freak on with the Diddy and minors.
I know they keep talking about this very high profile celebrity. It's like, and I want to think it's Leonardo DiCaprio. But I mean, who knows? It could be anybody. They're all.
Well, there was rumors about him, God, 15 years ago, about him being gay.
DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Oh.
About the time he was filming that movie, I want to say The Island. Is that right?
The Island, he did that, yep.
Yeah, about the time he was filming that movie, that's about when all those rumors were flying out that he was gay. So that was what, 20 years ago? Maybe. I don't even know when the fuck that movie came out. It's been so long.
I don't even care about that crap anymore. Somebody,
Yeah.
oh, here's so-and-so, well, he's come out as gay. I'm like,
Who cares?
I don't care. Whatever. So what?
Oh, and Shawn Menendez came out as he doesn't know what the fuck he is.
Who?
Shawn Menendez,
I don't even know who that is.
singer, underwear model.
Shawn Mendes.
He's a Calvin Klein underwear model. He looks pretty good in them Calvin Kleins too, let me tell you.
Canadian singer-songwriter.
Yep, Hispanic kid.
I don't know. See, but it's like, honestly, straight up, 100% sincere. I don't even care if somebody's gay or whatever they are. I don't care. Like, why is it that it have to be announced? Oh, so-and-so was gay.
Oh, hey, Manny. I'm gay.
Good for you, Bam.
Diddy, you've never heard of Shawn Mendes? Seriously? He's the one that sings Stitches. He did that song with that female Hispanic lady. Senorita's the name of it. Cabela, Cabina, or whatever the fuck.
Camila Cabello. Camila
Yeah, her.
Cabello.
They dated for a while.
Shawn Mendes praised for opening up about his sexuality. Why is he praised for it?
Because
Who
this
cares?
is
What?
this generation is the gayest generation of all times.
Oh, but the website, that's pinknews.com. So there you go.
There's too many homosexuals in this world now. I'll never get laid again. There's too many of them.
Before there weren't enough. Now there's too many. They're going to start to close the books on them.
Oh my God. You know, back in my day, we had to go into like bookstores and saunas.
I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
That's why you laughed. You've been in them bookstores.
Shawn Mendes. Images. This is Shawn Mendes. I still don't know.
Yeah, he's easy on the eyes. Oh yeah, Abercrombie and French. What about that CEO?
Oh, that's the guy that Chuck's talking about?
Yep, I gotta take this call.
Okie doke. Yeah, this sex trafficking, human trafficking thing is it's happening. It's really happening. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Let's change up the tunes here. Let me see. I've never seen him. Yeah, me neither. I have no idea. I know who Camila Cabello is. But anyway, Yellowstone's coming up next week sometime. Anybody watch Yellowstone? If you do and you haven't caught up, it's a good time to start binge watching the last 5.5 seasons. I need season 5. I own seasons 1 through 4. I need season 5, the half one. If you haven't seen Yellowstone, it is so good. It's like The Sopranos meets Wyoming. You know, it's a really good drama. If you haven't seen it, give it a shot. If you can get past even the first episode, I mean, I enjoyed it. Oh, Tuesday, I gotta check that out. Yellowstone's really good. I mean, I couldn't wait. Do you remember The Sopranos when that was out? And it was a cult following. Every Sunday, it's like, what are you doing? No, I want to watch Sopranos, 8:00 Sunday night. And it was like, I think people valued that more than going to church. They know I'm going to be home 8:00, 8 p.m. Don't bother me Sunday night. It was watch The Sopranos. And it was such a beautiful thing. I watched that recently. And I did the whole 6 seasons. And now I keep watching the stuff, clips here and there, and Paulie, and it's one of the, it's a masterpiece. It is. David Chase really outdid himself on that. And Yellowstone is great. It's not Sopranos level, so it's different, but it's really good. Give it a shot. I mean, it's really good. And I don't like Western movies myself, but this is not really a Western. Yes, it's got, ranch and cowboys and ranch hands, but it's not really a Western. Give it a chance. It's really good. Yep, I love it. Love it. Love it. Hey, Kathy. I'm going to check if it does. I try it again, Didi. It's really good. You have to, you really got to binge watch like 3 episodes in a row. Don't just watch the half of the first one. Then it's not for me. Watch 2 or 3 in a row. Put them together, and you'll see. Oops. Beth is my speed. Oh, Beth is an animal. She is. Yeah, I don't have Paramount Plus, but I think I'll get it the free trial just for that or something. I've had to cut back on a lot of stuff. I'm not out of the woods yet in my situation, and there's a lot of it's complicated, but that's going to be fun. Hang on, let me check something here. Who is? No. Okay, that's not ready yet. Okay. Anyway, Yeah, we just wanted to come on and catch up on some things. The Menendez brothers is one thing I wanted to talk about. I know some people that live out there were talking about maybe going to that hearing. And then once it was announced that it was on December 11th, it'd be cool if somebody can go. You know, I don't think the Menendez brothers have to be there for that. I'm not sure. But if there's a possibility that they could be released, I imagine they could. And I imagine if somebody wants to see that hearing and see what's going to go on, there's going to be a line to get in. And that line is going to be forming very early in the morning. So if you are going to make it to that, get out there early because it's going to be a packed house. It is going to be open to the public. Hey, Janine, what up? It is going to be open to the public, just like any a hearing will be available. So if you could make it, that'd be great. Oh, the P. Diddy thing, we started to touch on that. There's a lot of fake news going around about Diddy, and apparently some audio recordings came out of one of the phone calls he had while somebody went to visit him. I think it was his son. And he told him, obviously he was talking in code. He says, you got to get rid of all the pizza boxes. And the son's like, huh? Get rid of all the pizza boxes. Remember, like we talked about. So everybody's trying to find out, well, what are the pizza boxes? What does that mean? What is that code for? It's like, what is that code for? Pizza boxes. And everybody's trying to figure out, is it drugs? Is it DVDs? Is it videos? Is it, like a black book, address book? Or, what is it? Everybody's trying to figure it out. Those who say they know what it is don't, unless they've got some inside information. But everybody wants to know, what is this? What is this? So, personally, I don't think Diddy will see the light of day again. They obviously don't want to let him out. Even though he's got money for bail, they're afraid he will somehow escape the country. Even though they'll make him turn over his passport, but he's got his own airplane. They can get on the plane and go somewhere, some small island somewhere, and disappear. And so they're not going to let him out. It's not going to happen. But I think he is going to have to make a deal, and he's going to have to out some of these other people who participated in his, illegal activities, especially when they involved young people. And I don't know if that'll get him any less time for his cooperation, but I think he's got to do it anyway. I don't know. Will he do it? Will he be a snitch? Will he give it up? Like, well, instead of 200 years, we'll give you, 175 years prison. You think that's enough for him to talk? I don't think that'll do it. Yeah, Chuck, I get you. I really dislike the politics down here. And I unfortunately got to say I'm not very involved in it, like with the local school district and the commissioner races and any of that stuff. I don't know. It's I don't know. But if you didn't hear, hey Naya, if you didn't hear me earlier, I said I think hang on. Next Tuesday, I will be covering the election night will be live the entire, I don't know, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, all the way on till the evening, covering it on different networks and see what the day is going to be like. Do I hope Donald Trump wins? Yes. Um, am I going to die if he doesn't win? Nope.
All right, I'm back.
The next day will be just like a normal day.
I'm back.
Get up and I'll go to work.
Did you miss me?
Not really.
Yeah, you missed me like a sore dick on a wedding night, didn't you?
Yeah. Just talking about election day. I'm gonna be online. I don't know how much you want to join, but I'm gonna go live around 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock.
Well, I'll when I get home, I'll jump on.
And we'll see. Like I said, I told him I hope Donald Trump wins, but if he doesn't, you know what happened if he doesn't win.
Well, democracy is done with, and we're going to probably pretty much be a socialist country, and we're going to have a dictator in there dictating to us because all gas-powered vehicles will be eliminated, and she says that Donald Trump's the dictator when she's the one that's going to mandate everybody go to an electric vehicle by 2040. Okay, isn't that what a dictator does? They mandate and they tell you what you have to do. You don't have a freedom to buy what you want to buy. You have to. This thing's being shoved down your fucking throat and up your ass. I think that's a dictator.
50. I think it's 20. I could 5 or something like that.
I thought I heard 2040 that every vehicle in the United States that is going to be sold has to be electric.
Right, and then you know what happened after they made that announcement in California? Do you know what happened? They made that announcement, and 2 days later, they told everybody, "Oh, don't charge your Teslas at night tonight."
Yeah,
because the power is not available. Can you imagine if what's the population of the state of California?
Well, I don't know. They've been leaving by the truckloads. But they've been coming in by the plane loads and leaving by the truckloads.
39.5 million people. Can you imagine if 30 million people all plug in their Teslas at night at the same time? You know what that's going to do to the power grid? There's not enough power. It can't
probably black out the whole fucking country.
It can't happen. It's just not going to happen. The country is not built for that yet. And trying to force it on people. I don't want to buy an electric car.
Well, they tried forcing the electric vehicles down our throats back in the 90s, I think. And it only lasted 2 years and they didn't go anywhere. But they didn't have the cool shit like the Teslas now.
Do you like that Cybertruck?
That thing is the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so what? It's bulletproof on the sides. If you get shot through the tailgate, guess what? It's going to hit you in the ass because that bullet's going to go right through that motherfucker. But they are ugly. They are worthless. You can't do a fucking thing with it. And don't get it wet. Don't get the motherfucker wet. Just saying, don't get the motherfucker wet.
You think it's going to rust?
Well, it is stainless steel. Stainless steel does not rust. But I've seen a purple one, but that's because somebody paid an extra $10,000 and had a plastic wrap put on them.
They wrapped them. Yeah, they wrapped them. Yes, Chuck, you're right. You're right. I think Myra is going to win. She needs to win. Myra Flores.
She won once. So she held that seat for what, 6 months, I think?
Once, yeah. It was just a kind of in-between thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a big deal when you have the Democrats who want to allow males to compete against females in female sports.
Okay. That is...
You got to draw the line, and that's the line. And the guy going against Ted Cruz is for that. What's his name? Colin Allred.
My thing is, you know, if you're a man and you think you're a woman and you say you're a woman, okay, well, we'll just let you have your delusion. That does not give you the right to compete in women's sports. You still have a cock, you still have balls, you still have testosterone. You are superior in every physical way over a woman. You have no business in women's sports whatsoever. Just because you couldn't hack it as a man in men's sports and you couldn't win any trophies or medals in men's sports, you have to come over and dominate women's sports. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's just not fair, man. They need to do their own category.
They should.
Yeah,
have
men's
a trans
sports,
fucking category that
women's
way. Okay, you have women's, you have men's, and then you have trans.
End of story.
Let the trans people
compete all you want.
People.
Yep.
Give them their own medals. Give them their own trophies. Is that segregating? Probably. Is it fair?
You can start your own
Absolutely.
trans baseball league if you want to. Trans football league.
Trans
basketball.
Trans hockey.
Take LeBron with you. Yeah, Schwarzenegger is just going with the flow. He's going with the flow in California. Everybody's afraid of Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom.
And you know, I'm really surprised that they did not install him like a toilet like they did Kamala and put him in her place.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
But he actually had... Did he run in a primary?
Nope. Not this one.
Well, I mean, she was installed like a fucking toilet. Take her out with the fucking trash. That's what I say. Well, I think I'm going to bounce off this thing. I need to get something to eat.
Yeah, it's about that time. 6:30.
Yeah, we've been here for what? Almost 2 hours.
Anybody watching anything good? I want to watch something. I got Netflix open over here.
Send me your fucking login info.
Let me see. Well, you're the one who's got that freaking magic box or whatever the fuck.
I know, but I want to watch the fucking monster and it won't play on my magic box.
Here, Monsters and Menendez, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. So you haven't seen that movie yet? The series.
I have not. There's like what, 8 episodes or 7 episodes?
9 episodes.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
All right, let's see if it allows me to. I don't know how many seats I can have on this thing. The one thing about the Menendez brothers, and I say we, and I'm saying like collectively, people that are online, YouTubers or whatever you want to call them. There's a song that they play at the funeral for their parents, and they play that song. It's a weird choice of a song. Everybody knows what I'm talking about, and you play that song, and it stays in your freaking head for days, and you can't get it out of your
song.
It's a Milli Vanilli song.
Blame It on the Rain?
No, the sad, the slow one. Somebody knows the name of it. Here, I'll find it. Let me find it.
Well, they were only known for 2 hits. Blame It on the Rain and
No, this was that sad song. Oh yeah. Girl, I'm gonna miss you. It's like I want to show it, but I know it will get copyrighted for that shit.
Well, don't show it.
Let me see.
Got a pimple right here. Right there, I got a pimple.
We'll just do a minute of it so it doesn't.
Oh yeah, I remember this song.
Oh, where did it go? What the frick?
God, they were sexy. They couldn't sing to save their lives, but they were fucking pretty.
So that song, they played it at the funeral, at their parents' funeral, of all songs.
Wow.
And then people keep putting that song out there on TikTok or on Facebook, and it just sticks in your head and you can't get out of your head. Kind of like the mana mana do 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 do
Mana,
mana
mana.
mana do do
Mana,
do.
mana.
It's become like that, and it stays in your freaking head, and you just can't get it out.
Mana. I always like
Yeah.
that song. Mana.
It's great, and the video is great for it too. When it happened on the Muppets.
Oh,
Yeah, I know it's funny. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Wait a minute. Hang on. Bam, don't go yet. Give it a few minutes.
Over the border, loaded up with migrants that they're dropping all over our country.
Oh, Trump's
The
talking.
cartel's profits have soared from relatively minor numbers to $13 billion from human trafficking alone under border czar. She doesn't want to be called border czar. She was the border czar, but you know what? She was in charge of the border. And by the way, the Border Patrol, they endorsed me very strongly. They even said I was the greatest president in the history of our country. Now, I said, does that include Abraham Lincoln? Does that include the great George Washington?
Yes, this is
They
live
said,
right
you're
now.
the best president, and we're the best president on the border. We had the best border. Drop that, please. Drop my all-time favorite graph. Do you mind? I love this. I sleep with this. I kiss it. Oh, that saved my life, I guess. Without that graph, I wouldn't be here right now.
Okay, so I know I mentioned this earlier. I don't have anything on Vanessa. And I'm at a point to say, who?
Lunatics. We got
Who?
lunatics.
Vanessa what?
That says it. The last day.
I hope she's trying to improve her life. I really do.
The arrow on the bottom. That was the lowest day in the history of our country for illegal immigration. That was done by the border.
That's just kind of just,
And
you know,
it became like an Elon Musk rocket ship. Look at that.
if I hear something, I will
Look at what happened.
put some news out there.
Lowest day we've ever had in terms of illegal
Something's got to be going on for her to be gone like
The
this.
whole thing was so good.
Because we know how much she loves to be online.
Just leave it. He went to the beach all the time, right? He could have gone to the beach, but he went to the beach, but they made changes. Instead, remain in Mexico. I got things that nobody could come into our country. They had to remain in Mexico. I think Tijuana might have been the fastest.
You know, you got people saying, "Oh, Trump said he was going to have the Mexicans pay for the wall, but they never did." I think they paid in other ways. This remain in Mexico thing,
Yeah.
that costs them money. We made them
Fuck them.
keep these people
We
there.
don't want murderers and drug dealers, and we don't want them to open their prisons. Think of it, they're opening their
Kathy's
prisons
hiding.
and
Kathy, why are
dumping
you
them
hiding?
on us. But every day they're stealing innocent lives on both sides of the border, both sides. Just days ago, a young U.S. Marine Corps veteran named Nicholas Quetz from Arizona was driving through Mexico very routinely. Who would think this could happen? For a beach weekend with his great friends. Yet everybody loved him. He had a lot of friends. When he was viciously gunned down on the highway and murdered by members of a Mexican cartel. And we're joined today by Nick's wife, Carrie, his father, Douglas, his mother, Patricia, his sister, Alexis, and his brother-in-law, Phil, and they're beautiful people. And if they'd like to come up, I'd love to have them just to honor their beautiful boy. I'd love to have them. Come on up. Phil, good.
He was killed in Mexico.
Oh, he's in
That's
Nevada
great.
right now.
This is a great family, a perfect family. And what happened to them should happen to nobody.
Damn, how many motherfuckers you bringing up on stage?
One of them is the wife.
So unscripted, I really wasn't planning on being here. 2 weeks ago, I was a completely apolitical actor. Anybody outside my own home wouldn't have known who I would have voted for. Today, the situation changed for me. For 2 weeks ago, Friday, my son was murdered by cowards, shot in the back on the way to the beach in Mexico. The reason I bring that up, and some people have questioned why was he in Mexico? He was in Mexico going to pursue his life, enjoy his life. We grew up as a military family, had been around the water. He loved it. We don't have Arizona Beach, so we call Rocky Point Arizona's beach. A lot of people go there, hundreds of thousands a year, I think, transit there. Plenty of Americans own property down there. So that happened. We got the call from the State Department, very professional. That night, no news in the United States to speak of. Sunday, still no news. Monday, still no news, other than the very most local level with no publication. Tried to get in contact with elected leaders, heard nothing. Tuesday, reached out to my local representative. He put me in contact with Senator Vance. Senator Vance coincidentally was coming to Tucson for a speech that day. I can't imagine how busy Senator Vance, President Trump are running their campaign. Senator Vance, I asked for 2 minutes to talk to him. And, I've met in my line of work, and I'm actually still a current federal employee. That's one of the reasons I've stayed apolitical. I'm a 20-year military retiree, so I've dedicated my entire life to this country and doing.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about this either.
Yeah, me either.
My son, who was murdered, is a 4-year military veteran of the United States Marine Corps. He worked on vertical assault from the Ospreys, so he'd fast rope out of helicopters. My daughter is actually a drilling Army reservist, and my son-in-law recently medically retired due to issues sustained on active duty. So our family's a military family with generations and generations of service. I bring these things up as an apolitical actor and somebody who struggled, the kind of Americans many are, who probably sit around their table and say, who are we going to vote for, go back and forth, decide what we think is important. And we struggle on that, and we actually pray on it. And many people ask me, how can I stand up here today, 13 days after my son was killed, and talk in front of groups?
I just posted
It is
this
through the
story.
grace of God, and I do believe in God and a higher being. I do believe my son Nicholas has given me the power to be here, has given my wife the power to be here, has given my daughter. Karime, who is Nick's wife, and my son-in-law Philip. And Philip has done such a great job, so now I have one living son, and that is Phil, because one was stolen by the cartel. So when I met with Senator Vance, and because I am apolitical and met many leaders from up to the level of National Security Council, plenty of times working different issues.
Well, I'm
with
going
this
to bounce.
government.
I got to get something to eat in me.
Okay,
I
man.
said, sir, before we talk,
We'll be in
I need
touch.
to know if I'm speaking to the
Have a great night,
candidate,
guys. I'll see y'all
the
Tuesday.
senator, or the Marine.
Hasta
He
luego.
said, I'm JD. I need you to tell me what I can do for you, and
Later,
you tell
bud.
me what you can do for me. And he meant it as a way of helping him to help me. So JD Vance was awesome. I asked for 90 seconds. He gave me 15 minutes. At the end, the very next morning, better. The very next morning, and after having tried to reach my elected officials for 5 days,
It's freaking
President
sad.
Trump's office called me. President Trump, in the fight of his life, offered to meet with us. President Trump gave me 15 minutes of his time to talk about what we could do. I asked him for some things, and he helped. I asked him, A, for U.S. involvement, and we know he's candidate Trump right now, and there isn't a seated president. I asked for U.S. involvement in the investigation with the Mexicans. I asked for extradition of the killers after I found out under the current U.S. code, not all can be extradited, only if they're tied to RICO activities. In this case, they probably are tied to RICO activities. They are probably coming back, but I'll defer all questions on his investigation to the FBI. And I asked for a working policy in Mexico. In my career, I worked in, one of the things I worked on was Plan Colombia. Very similar situation in security as to what we have in Mexico today. It was supported by Senator Biden. That's out in public record. You can look at it. We have no working policy with Mexico right now. Count the numbers of illegal immigrants, whether they're private, whether they're dangerous or not dangerous, and you'll see a number of about 25 million crossing back and forth. And then when somebody says, why was Nick in Mexico? My son was an hour from our house when he was executed by cowards. That's how close it is. But it is a national security challenge, not a local border state challenge. We have these type of things with Tren de Agua and MS-13, anybody else you want to name, plus unnamed criminal organizations. The cartels, they operate with impunity in Mexico. They've infiltrated every level of their government. The local police are helpless because they're not properly equipped. State police, a little bit better, but not, and then the federal. But we need to work with the Mexicans on this to go forward. So what I'm leaving you with, and I'll give this back to President Trump, to whom you came to listen, not me, is this. For most of us in this room, and honestly, I would not have been in this room because it wouldn't have been political 2 weeks ago. You know who you're going to vote for. But for the soundbite and the people looking at this, after 12 days, I received a phone call from Senator Mark Kelly. That was the 12th day. And he was gracious and he offered his condolences. And I told him, sir, I appreciate that because I'm a respectful person and I'll work with anybody. But what I want is sponsorship of a couple things. One is change to U.S. code so that if people have committed crime against U.S. persons, especially murder, they are brought back here to face our justice.
I hope they do it.
Number two is legislation that is enacted that takes us someplace closer to Plan Mexico that'll institute not only military capability, but also institution building. And if we break out the numbers of what it costs, we can do that for much less than we spend on illegal immigrants. And we can make both sides of the border secure. People are coming here. Some come for economic, and we talk about that, but many of those people are actually fleeing due to the insecurity in their own country. If we can help them, we can help ourselves. Senator Kelly, and as I said, so this is bipartisan, but we need a leader who can enact it. And the leader is standing right next to me because he's promised to enact it. Bipartisan. And I will tell you, President Trump, former President Trump, however you want to name him, and I had some really good conversations. We had conversations between ourselves, two men looking at each other. The man had a tear in his eye when he saw the picture of my son, and the person that those that are on the have not committed and don't know, he's a decent man. He tried to help us, and he promised to help us. He also made a promise to me that'll be between the two of us. But if he's elected, I do believe he'll keep it. Sir, I can't thank you enough. Sir, I can't thank you enough for what you've done for my family in terms of calling attention to this. It was unreported in the media. Go back and check for anybody who looks. And I will tell you.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it. I just posted it.
Importantly,
The fake news, yep. True. It's true.
And importantly, like I said, Governor Walz was in Arizona last Saturday. He had a convention. We tried to go. We asked to go. I've got electronic proof of it, so we can show pictures. They've already been released to the media. We're told it was full. It was in a high school auditorium, and we weren't allowed to speak with him. So when you wonder about where America really is and what the stories are, you don't have to wonder anymore. The man next to me and his vice presidential nominee, a current seated senator, both met with me within 36 hours of asking, and both took up the cause. And for any troll that is out there and says your son shouldn't have been in Mexico, if it's safe for 25 million people to come here, how can it not be safe for my son to go an hour south of the border?
Yep.
And for the trolls that say we're politicizing my son's death, I will tell you to go to the root of the word. It is the policy that contributed to my son being killed. It is the policy that's contributing to the death of other Americans, just like the video you saw, that young lady. It is the policy that's contributing to fentanyl coming into the United States. Those are political failures, and we need to end them. Thank you for your time.
This is the mom.
I'm asking you, help us get justice for Nicholas.
That's sad. She can't even speak. So cool. Man, talk about a moment.
That's incredible. And frankly, to do that, to be able to do that, literally just a few days after this horrible event happened is pretty amazing, I'll tell you. We'll take care of it. We're going to take care of it. We're gonna
Kamala
get
can
that
have
guy.
Beyonce,
Get him.
um,
They know who he is. They
Lizzo,
know who he is.
and whoever else freaking celebrities she wants to have on there.
Mexico's
That means
gonna give it
nothing.
to us. They have to.
Having something like this go on and talk to them in person on stage and tell their story,
We're going to put these
this is what it's all about.
human traffickers, we're going to put them right out of business. They're killing hundreds of thousands of people in our country. You know, if we had a war, it wouldn't be as bad as this. Hundreds of thousands of people a year are being killed. To expedite removals of the Tren de Aragua savage gangs, I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole.
Do it.
And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America.
Yeah, get rid of that stupid crap.
Sanctuaries for criminals. As we secure our border, we will bring back our economy, and very simply, I will make America affordable again, because it's not affordable anymore. They've destroyed it with, they have destroyed it with this inflation, this horrible inflation, the worst ever in our country. Kamala Harris cast the deciding votes that launched the worst inflation of your lifetime. She cost the typical American family over $30,000 in higher prices. You look at your food bills, you look at the cost of food items. You know, more people tell me about groceries. The word grocery, I've heard it more in the last year than any other word, I think. I think I've heard it more than any other word, other than the word garbage. Garbage. How stupid is a man to say that, right? How stupid is a man to say that? But she believes it too. I'd love to hear that conversation now. Oh boy. But now Kamala wants to raise taxes on the typical American family by an average of $5,000 a year. Kamala also launched a war on tip workers. Good place to talk about it. And service workers right here in Nevada, increasing the so-called tip allocation tax rate by 60%. That's why you don't hear them talking about no tax on tips. They don't talk about it, because they're going just the opposite. In other words, even after Kamala wrecked your economy with inflation, she came after your tip income like a vulture would do, actually. She doesn't understand it. She doesn't know what it means. She has no sense of economics, none whatsoever. If she gets 4 more years, Kamala Harris will pick your pockets bare. We will not have a country. Everyone will flee. Our companies are going to flee. People don't realize these companies, these big, beautiful companies, they're run by international business people. They don't live here. Many of them live in Switzerland and Sweden and lots of other countries. They don't mind. They don't even think about it. They'll take these companies out of here so fast. It's a mass charge to see who can get what company, and they want to go, and they'll go. They don't care. They have no loyalty to our country. We have to keep them here by being smart, not stupid.
That was not a border bill. That was not a good border bill. That was a get out of jail free card for 2 or 3 million illegals that were here. That was more of a path to citizenship than it was deal with the border right now. That's why that was killed.
And I will support a tax credit for family caregivers who take care of our parent or
I was
a loved
responding
one.
to
You know,
this
if we
comment.
didn't have that, if we didn't have the angel moms and lots of different names, but the angel moms is an example. If we didn't have them, the great wife that takes care of a husband who is badly wounded, and vice versa, by the way. But if we didn't have that, caregivers, they really take care. We wouldn't have enough hospitals if we doubled the size of our hospital rooms. If we doubled it up, we wouldn't have enough hospitals to take care of our country. And now, of course, what's happening is you go to towns and cities all over the country, you can't have a hospital anyway because the migrants have literally taken over the beds. They've taken over the schools. They've taken over your son has a seat in school and he no longer has it because a migrant is they're giving him, actually, they're saying, you go first. The migrants go first. Migrants go first.
Yeah, I mean, remember New York, they were shutting schools down,
Look at what's happening.
not because the schools were no good, but because they needed room to put migrants in.
The hospitals are a disaster. You go to the hospital, you have a problem, you can't get in. I will end Kamala's war on American energy, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. And I'll terminate her Green New scam, one of the greatest scams in the history of our country, devised by a person who never even took an environmental course. You know who that is, right? AOC plus 3. Remember what she said, 12 years. Well, the 12 years has pretty much come up, Mr. Congressman, right? Matt, right? The 12 years has come and gone. We weren't going to be around anymore after 12 years. This is a young lady who, I don't know if she's having a lot of fun or what, but boy, I watched those senators. They were there for a long time. I watched them say, yeah, that's right, that's right. You know what her real goal is? $93 trillion. They don't want any more windows in apartments, no more windows. They'd like every building in Manhattan to be taken down and build a building with no windows in it. You have to be one of the greatest salesmen in the world to sell one of those apartments. I guess I have it wrong. I've always been known for having the biggest windows. I want those windows to be so big, right down to the bottom of the floor. And the bigger they are, the better they sell. That's just the way it is. I got to change my whole philosophy if you don't vote me in, because I'll go back to building crazy buildings now and I won't be able to use windows anymore. No, they don't want windows. They don't want cows. They don't want anything. They don't know what they want, actually. And I will cut your energy prices in half within 12 months. We're going to cut it in half. We have liquid gold. And then everything else is going to come down. It was energy that brought it up. It's going to be energy that brings it down. They screwed up that energy policy.
It was not a good plug the border and stop the border. The very first items on that bill was, let's make these 2 or 3 million what do they call it? Quick to citizenship. That was the focus of that bill. It wasn't about dealing with the border and closing the border. That's why it didn't pass. It was more about how do we make these millions of people
Garbage.
legal citizens. That was the focus of it.
That's nasty. I think that's worse than deplorables, right? How did that work out for Hillary?
I
think
wouldn't
this
have
is gonna
approved
work
that
out
either.
even worse. And they mean it. They mean it, even though without question my supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lion Kamala. Look at that. Look at that. They had nobody like that. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just can't do it. Can't do it. You can't be president if you hate the American people, and they do hate it. They hate the American people. Who would have an open border policy where prisons and jails and penitentiaries are allowed to freely walk into our country, where gang members are taken off the streets of Caracas, Venezuela, and dumped into our country? We don't even know their names.
If that's
We
the
know
case,
nothing
then
about
why
them.
have our
You're
gasoline
free to
prices been
roam.
so
They call
sky
it free
high?
to roam. Congratulations, you are free to roam. And they killed 4 people, you know. It's crazy. The 13,000 plus that we have, the killers, these are murderers from jails. Can you believe that? These were all murderers, convicted murderers, in jail, in prison, and we know nothing about them. In fact, we don't even know where they are. But they're out there someplace. I'm sure we have a few of them. Welcome. I'm sure we have a few of them sitting. This can give you a little bit of the yips, right? You're sitting down now, you don't know whether or not the guy next to you killed 5 people. No, we're going to get him out of here. We're going to get him out fast. We're going to get him out fast. And our local police are going to be activated. And if we had the cooperation from the fake news, which you don't, it would happen relatively quickly. We're going to be able to do it. No, our local police, let me tell you, they know every one of them. They know their middle name. They know everything about them. They know what country they come from. They know everything. But they're told to stand back. Don't touch them. Don't do anything.
So we're
Stand
producing
back. They
oil,
don't
but
want to
not the
stand
right
back.
kind of
Just like
oil.
Border Patrol.
There's 2
They
different
go
kinds
crazy when they
of
see these
grades.
people pouring in. And they can look at them and they can
So
see
it's
trouble.
not the
They go,
stuff that we
trouble,
need to
trouble,
power our
trouble,
vehicles and our
no
energy
trouble,
every day.
trouble. They can look at them and they can see good or bad. Kamala Harris is not fit to be president of the United States. She doesn't have the intellect, the stamina, or that special quality that real leaders have to have. She doesn't have any quality leadership. She shouldn't even be there. He got 14 million votes. Look, I'm not a fan. But we had a debate. He didn't do great. His numbers went down. Big deal. They wanted to see him, and they say, you can't win. You're out. This is, you know, we call him a threat to democracy. They look at me, I'm a threat to democracy. I am the least threat. I'm the one saving our democracy. No, crazy Nancy. She's crazy as a bedbug. She walked in and she starts screaming at him, you're out of here. You're out of here. Get out of here. And you know, it's amazing, her and some of her friends. And yet with Nancy, she was a big owner of Visa stock. She started off with nothing, and now she's worth $200 million, they say. But listen to this, with her husband. With her husband. What was that all about anyway? That was a weird deal. What was that all about? So she's got the husband, and they buy stock. And she was a big owner in, I believe it was Visa, and big owner, big position. And we didn't know this, but Visa, it was going to be announced the following day that Visa was under major federal criminal investigation. And Nancy sold all of her stock at Visa the day before that came out. I don't know. Sounds a little bad. What do you think, Michael? A little bit shaky. She said it was by strictly coincidence. She said it was by coincidence. No, well, but I don't see the press. Did you guys read about that at all? I don't think so, huh? Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's decision to portray everyone who isn't voting for her as an evil and even subhuman person. And we know it's what they believe because look at how they've treated you. They do treat you like garbage. They really do. For the last 9 years, Kamala and her party have called us racists, bigots,
Yeah, but who's let them
fascists,
price gouge?
deplorables, irredeemables, even Nazis. And they called me Hitler. You know, my father was a great guy. He was a strong guy, but a good guy with a big heart. Strong, but really a warm guy. Whenever we walked down the street, we'd come sometimes into Manhattan. That was a big treat. And we'd see, in those days, you don't see that anymore. Now you see it at a very much higher, at a scarier level, that frankly. They put a gun in your ribs and they say, give me what you have. But they used to hold tin cups out. And he'd always walk by and he'd always put $100 in it. Anytime he saw it, he'd put $100 in. You know, that was like $1,000 today, maybe more. I said, that's nice. I always remembered it. It's nice. But you know, he told me once, I don't even know in what reference, but he said, never use the name Nazi. You don't use that name. Do you understand me? And never use the name Hitler. You don't have to say Hitler. Don't ever say Hitler. Do you understand? And now I'm being accused of being Hitler by these lunatics out there that have lost control of our country. Our country we're riddled with crime. Every city
Yeah,
you
it's
take a look at is falling
it's so
apart.
ridiculous how people are going to throw the Hitler card out there.
They're criminal ridden.
And then they're not just saying it about him. They're saying about,
It's
for example, everybody who was at Madison Square Garden. It was a Hitler rally.
I have property there, San Francisco. I have a lot of property in
You
California.
calling me a
But
Nazi?
I don't care about this.
I was born here in the U.S. My parents are from Mexico.
Is a big deal. So
We're Nazis?
about my
I
property.
think somebody needs a history lesson.
San Francisco. San Francisco. Now I lose another 25 million by this statement. That's one. San Francisco is almost unlivable. And it's because of her. She was the DA who destroyed San Francisco. She then became the attorney.
Did you? I found this out the other day. Did you know
Gavin Newsom, one of the worst governors in history.
if you're going to San Francisco, there's an app. You can download the app and it tells you where all the poop is that humans are, where they are dumping their poop, where they're out there taking a crap on the streets. There's actually an app to tell you where all that stuff is. How you like them apples?
He's done it. You know, they just passed a law on voter ID. Do you know that? That not only don't they have voter ID, but it's against the law for you to ask somebody for voter ID. So if you work at one of the very few places that would even have the consequence of asking, because there are no places, you know, they just mail out millions of ballots and they come mailed back in. They don't know where the hell they're going, although they have a pretty good idea. They tend to go to Democrat neighborhoods a little bit more. But they mail out like 38 million ballots, and then they get mailed.
Okay, what happened to the sound?
You know, I went
There it
to
is.
California with the family of our great congressman and his wife, Ginger, who's incredible. Matt Gaetz, Mrs. Gaetz. And their family had a little event in a beautiful part of California, and nobody could believe, you couldn't even get on the streets. It looked like Lindbergh just arrived on Broadway. It was so crazy. We would do, with a fair count, we would do great in California, the right guy. Now, me, I would do great because Hispanics like me. I'm glad they love me. They should love me. And I love them. But I would do great. If we had an honest vote, I always say, if God came down just for one day to be the vote counter, in other words, I would win in California. I would. That's a disgrace what happens. Think of it. They send out millions and millions and millions of ballots. They go out, they come back. You know, it's interesting. When you go to a legitimate place like in Florida, they've done a very good job. But I go into Palm Beach. I go in, They say, sir, I know who you are. I mean, I fully understand who you are. You're the president. But, sir, could I see your identification? Oh. And I say, you're doing the right thing. I actually say, don't be embarrassed. You know, they're very embarrassed. Sir, I mean, I don't know how to ask, but could I see it? I say, yeah, here. Oh, thank you, sir. I thought it was you. I thought, no, they feel good. And then they give you a paper, and you sign the paper, and you put on whoever you're voting for. Maybe there's a bond issue or something, and you do a check, and they're watching, and then you sign. They walk you over to essentially a container, but it could be in the form of a machine. The fewer machines you have, the better, by the way. The fewer you have. You know, Elon Musk told me he's the greatest. I would say, you got to say, in terms of computer, I would say he's probably about as good as you get. And, you know, I watched that big rocket come in 2 weeks ago.
I got it,
It
Mike. That
came
was
in,
funny
that
shit.
sucker was going to crash. I said, no, don't let it crash. I tell the story. I was talking to a very important person on the phone, very important. And I'm watching the screen. It's muted. There's no sound, but I see this seeing live. And at first I thought it might be like a space-type movie, you know, some kind of a crazy movie. But this rocket comes in and it's all burned. You know, it's coming down at 10,000 miles an hour or some crazy speed, and they're just like on fire. But now it's like the size of a 22-story building. That's pretty big, right? And it's coming in, and I'm talking to this guy, and I say, do me a favor, hold it just for a second, okay? I gotta watch this. I put the phone down. I never picked it back up. Can you believe it?
Hey, Mousy,
And
yeah, I did
because I'm
talk about this
president,
earlier.
But more importantly, because I may be president, he held on for 45 minutes. The guy held on. You know, if I wasn't president or if I had no potential to be president, he would have hung up in the first 30 seconds. But I picked that up like 45 minutes later. I said, hello, hello.
This is a
hello,
funny story.
President. Very important guy. Everybody heard of him. I felt so badly, but one of those things, but I was fascinated. So I see this massive 22-story ship coming down, and you have the gantry or whatever the hell they call it nowadays, and the ship, and it's coming too fast, and I'm like, oh, no. Don't do that. I don't want to see it crash. And I didn't know it was Elon. I assumed it might be. I mean, why not? He has everything else to, but the ship is coming down, and then I see the bottom is going to hit that gantry, and then I see an explosion of fire. Pushes it like that, just perfect. The fire's all over the place. The whole thing is burning. There's smoke. I never saw anything like it. Then, boom. And then the arms come out, and just like you do with your beautiful little baby, he grabbed that sucker.
That was pretty amazing if you
And
haven't seen
secure. I said, it's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. It was going to crash a thing, the fire and everything, just computer, right? It was all, I called up Elon. I said, Elon, you know, he gave us the greatest endorsement. He said, it's the most important election we've ever had. Do you know where he is right now? He's campaigning in Pennsylvania. Can you believe it? With all he's got to do, because he thinks it's the most important thing he can do. But I said, Elon, was that you, the rocket? Was that you, Elon? I called him up. Hello? I said, how you doing, Elon? Okay, what's up? I said, Elon, was that you with the rocket? Yeah. I said, you're unbelievable. I said, can Russia do that? No. Why not? They don't have the knowledge, and they never will. I said, can China do that? No. I said, why not? Because I have the knowledge, and they don't. It would take them 10 years before they can do that. I said, can the U.S. do it outside of you? No. I said, that's why I like this guy. That's why I like this guy. Hello, Mr. Senator. I just see you there. The Barrasso man, he's one of the greatest people. What a great, I didn't know you were going to be here. I'm very impressed. I guess Sam Brown must be doing very well for you to be here, huh? We got the leader of the Senate. We got the leader of the Senate here. And I know it's not for me, so it has to be for Sam Brown, right? Thank you. Thank you. Senator Barrasso is an unbelievable guy, and Sam is
We have to wrap it up pretty soon. I need to go do stuff.
And he really is. By the way, you know, I do the weave, right? You know the weave? It's genius. It's genius. I can go here, but it's always related, maybe sometimes just a little tiny bit. But I get it like here, over there. Because I look, I see them, I say, whoa, there's a senator, one of the biggest senators and maybe the most powerful guy. Because Mitch doesn't have it anymore. No, he may be the most powerful guy in the Senate. And I'm very impressed with you, Sam. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But nobody has given up more, right? Nobody has given up more who's run for the U.S. Senate than Sam Brown. Nobody. And we should put him in office. Nobody has given up what he's given. Defending us. Defending us.
All right. I wish I could stay on here long, but I do need to step out for a minute. Thank you all for hanging out with me so much. I want to show you something real quick before, in case you haven't seen it. So let me cut this right here. Let me turn that off for these still me right now. And hang on. Okay, I'm looking for something. Bear with me. Downloads. See, I got this new streaming platform and I don't exactly know how to do stuff yet. Trying to figure out how to share this. Is this it? Is this it? Nope. Oh, dang it. I wanted to show you this, but I might have to do it. Oh. I think I got it. No, thanks. Thanks for being here. Good discussions, good chat about this and that. Okay. Uploading, finished, processing. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Technology is so fast, but sometimes it's not fast enough. We're so spoiled. Because something takes 30 seconds. We're like, damn it, Jim. Okay, still processing again. Okay. And here we go. Let's see. That was a funny story, by the way. He's told that a few times. Here we go. This is what happened. This is a rocket booster landing, coming back. It's a beautiful thing. Let it go one more time. That's when it was coming down. There's the sonic booms. That happened right here. 25 miles away from me, Boca Chica Beach, South Texas. That freaking amazing or what? It's amazing. Elon Musk is a genius. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Thanks for being here. I'll be back tomorrow evening with or without Bam. I'll try to get him on, but he's working tomorrow, so we'll see. Thanks for being here.